Hello there gang, Devere here with another Past Blast, in which we should be playing a little bit of Alone in the Dark 1. Developed and released back in 1992 by Infogrames, who at the time were quite a big concern. Infogrames, there we go. I'll just begin a new game. It's of course the original point and click survival horror adventure in full 3D. So your first choice is you have two characters. There's Emily Hartwood and of course Edward Carnby. Now this is a bit of an oddity because this was actually supposed to originally just be Emily Hartwood's and her game. And for reasons I'm not 100% clear on, I think it was Edward Carnby was going to be for another game originally. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was 100% if it was supposed to be related to this game. That never came to pass, so they put his character in here. However, it doesn't actually make a difference in-game itself. Unlike later survival horrors, the adventure plays out exactly the same, the puzzles are the same, fighting and combat are all the same. It just, obviously, whether you want to play as Edward or Emily. And they both get different dialogues and voice actors, obviously. But we shall dive on in with Emily, as she was supposed to originally be the lead character, so I'll stick with that just for that sakes. There's also another reason which we'll look at very well, explain to you very shortly after we listen to the intro dialogue. There's a lot to listen to.
The attorney's letter came as a deep shock to me. My Uncle Jeremy had died by his own hand. The coroner's report was unequivocal. He hanged himself in the loft. My initial surprise and distress past, I considered the news. It seemed clear that Derceto had exercised a thoroughly morbid influence on my uncle's mind. That creaking old mansion with its unusual tales, its secret library door, the ancient upstairs clock, all those occult books that my uncle could not resist reading in spite of his fragile nerves. Fate had pointed its finger. Derceto had trapped its prey. Mr. McCarthy, the family lawyer, suggested selling the old house. I immediately opposed the idea. My duty is clear. I must go to Derceto. I tremble at the thought of those dark corridors, those brooding portraits. Yet I am convinced that Uncle Jeremy left a note, a letter of some kind explaining his fateful decision. I remember his voice saying, "Look at the piano, Emily. Look harder. Maybe the secret drawer will yield up an explanation." I have the feeling things will not be so simple. Life is a mystery containing more mysteries. Jeremy taught me that much. Now is the time to confront the mysteries. Derceto is waiting for me. I pray that my fear is nothing more than the fruit of my imagination. Nothing will ever persuade me that my uncle was insane. But why did he, according to the police report, block the loft window with the old wardrobe?
So after that rather lengthy bit of dialogue, it was actually full of quite a few clues there as it goes. So that's the first thing with this game. This game is very, very plot and lore heavy. There's a lot to read. Now it's all voice acted, but a lot of the clues you'll need for solving puzzles, defeating certain monsters, is contained within that dialogue. In fact, a large part of your playthrough will be listening to and going through the dialogues, at least the very first couple of times you play. Once you actually understand and know what you're doing, it's actually quite a short game. You can usually blast through in about an hour or so, give or take. But at least this sort of somewhat long-winded introduction does allow us to cover a bit of ground. So definitely, as you can see, the graphics are definitely showing their age. Very much the old school survival horror with fixed camera angles. But yeah, for 1992, this game's trying to put a lot in the way of technology. As we'll look when we get properly into the game. Yes, it was a bit of a waste, or not wasted, but a missed opportunity by not having either separate puzzles for Edward and Emily. Or as you know, if you used to play Resident Evil, Jill's character stats are different from Leon's example, being a classic example of it. Of course, Jill has more carrying, Leon's better with knives or something like, that kind of thing. So there's none of that here. But it's forgivable for the age, really. It's probably as much a sales thing as anything else. Hence why they shoved Edward in here. Because his story is kind of weak, in actually all honesty. And we shall discuss why in a moment. So just about there now. Again, there was a few little clues in the, if you was watching there's a few clues there as well. So yes, text and dialogue is very important in this game because that is where all your clues are given. So here's the first thing, the very first thing I'll do is this is a DOSBox Simulator games. Press Control F11 a couple of times. Can we start running? So running is, I'm controlling this with the arrow keys at the moment. Now, very tank controls. So enter to enter our actions menu. So let's select an action. So that's the first thing, you actually have to pre-select what it is you want to be doing. So we have a combat mode, open search, close and push. At the moment I obviously want push. And you have to hold spacebar, and you do have to hold spacebar down for everything. So this is very much old school tank controls. So the running is very, very jippy. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for something. You can push that, and in fact, you should push that chest over that hatch. But it'll give me a chance to show you the combat. See, there was that weird bird thing there. If that had busted in, pretty much be dead. In fact, the chance of beating that in melee combat is not high. I'm going to find a good angle. It's any moment now we should have another enemy. This game gets off to a tough, hard start. So that's what when she was talking in her introduction about the police mentioned the wardrobe being pushed over the window. It's a clue telling you to do that when you first get in there, or you'll be dead as well. Haha! And there's our zombie. Oops! Hang on. Forgot I didn't put myself back in fight mode. That happens a lot. So hold space to enter combat. Oh, I got myself a really bad angle here, didn't I? So best to use the kick. Also not a good idea to try and run away. You can get stun locked pretty quick and easy in this game. So you can't just tap the key. You actually have to hold the key. So up and down in melee mode, throw kicks. Left and right throw punches. See if we can get a few swings in at him. Yeah, not exactly very technical, I know. Generally the kicks are easy. So a lot of the time the zombies here are easy enough for the most part to fight with for melee. And often places and times you can often catch them onto a edge of a piece of the graphics. So right, let's get on. So right, put myself back into open and search. Hold spacebar. So yeah, controls is definitely one area this game does show its age. In all honesty, now that gun is actually quite good for killing those bird things. You might not figure that out immediately, so it's not a complete death sentence if the if it does get in here, and if you can find the gun in time. But you don't want to waste your firearms on low-level stuff like the zombies. So this piano here, if you watched Edward's introduction, is the reason he's here for. He's basically been sent here to steal his piano. Not much of a plot device, admittedly. Never explained how he's supposed to get it out either. But there we go. That's only just neither here nor there. So let's... I'm not going to bother in this book because there is a lot of lore in this one, a lot of voice acting. So I'm going to use the throw option, see if you can actually throw it. Oh, it actually worked. It was quite a good launch. Let's have a quick read of the letter that was so important.
They are coming! I have freed hellish forces, and now the price must be paid. Derceto is the prey of evil. The sun has set. They will find my body, but will not have my soul. I can imagine the master's fury and the terror in the hearts of his slaves. I hear their footsteps. Some may understand what I have done. May God forgive me. Farewell, Jeremy.
Well, indeed.
Heartwood.
Yes, the voice acting is enthusiastic, to say the least. Let's get rid of that. Because you do only have a limited inventory space as well. So I think that's everything we need from here. Yeah, got everything. That's it. So let's get weaving. Oh, try and get that run to work. It's quite cumbersome. By the way, it's not a door. I remember once I got stuck here for ages trying to figure that out the very first time I played it, thinking that was a door. You just have to turn and walk back down where you came from. So as I said, pay attention during the introduction because it does kind of show you a few things that are of import for later. One good thing, if something's in the open like that there, talking of things out in the open, I know what I did forget to click. I did forget to pick something, up. Then your character will automatically act with it. Oh, yeah, definitely controls. You could obviously set up something like Joy to Key. I suppose it might make it a little bit... I didn't mean to do that. Actions, open search, hold spacebar. Yeah, you could try something like Joy to Key, I suppose. And it is a DOSBox game, so of course, yes, you could use the inbuilt key mapper. This is old school. Stairs are handled automatically, so that's where you'll see it sometimes rearranging and lining up for the air. Again, for 1992, it is trying to do a lot. In fact, you've got a melee combat system with different attacks. You've got firearms and weapons, which we shall see in use very shortly. There, that's what I wanted. So here's one issue. Let's go to an oil can. Use. Now that will automatically fill up to our oil lamp. We now have 50 in there. The oil cans are obviously a usable resource, a consumable, and there's only a very limited amount in the game. And if you overuse it, then that's pretty much the last you're going to have a hard time in this game. There's a couple of other places where it's easy to get yourself stuck. In fact, any time before you use the lamp, I would suggest you save first, then go through, collect this stuff, and then maybe reload so you can minimise your fuel usage when you know where everything is and what you need to do in the dark areas. Because yeah, there's not a great amount of fuel in this game, so you do have to be very careful and aware of that. So save scumming is not something to be ashamed of in this particular instance. Man, that face is definitely... She should automatically open doors. Ah, there we go. get through. Oh, don't run now. As you can tell looking at that, you can probably guess that's not good looking at that thing there. Broken checkering looking pattern. And you'd be right. Admittedly, the game doesn't do too many instant death moments, but there are some. Oh, no, don't catch on that. Let's take that key. Oh, don't. It's now bursting into running, even though I'm trying not to. Right, it's locked. You've obviously probably noticed it's also contextually sensitive. The menu, depending on what item you've got. So let's take you. Now, just before we go through here, I'm going to put myself on the fight. Come on, open the door. Yep. Sometimes he's not there, sometimes he is. See, that can happen, so it is occasionally possible to end up getting stun-locked by them. What's going on here? Let's try and back into this corner. See if we can't jam him on the... As this is proper old school, there's no kind of auto-aim that you might get on later survival horror games. It's just easier to just hold the key down and keep doing that. So luckily for the most part the zombies won't kill you. But it just, you know, it is worth aware that you can get stun locked. See, luckily he looks like he's caught on that corner. We seem to be now missing him. Let's try a few punches. Come on girl, bitch slap him. Yeah, this game is showing its age in a lot of ways by today's standards. So there are sections of the game where you can get caught with it impossible to complete. Luckily one of them's actually just around the corner here, from here. Unfortunately, and so this isn't quite near the beginning of the game, unfortunately one of the other ones is quite near the end of the game. If you don't get things done in the right order before you leave the house and with a certain amount of fuel, the game's impossible to complete. And you'll have to go all the way back again. So that's worth keeping in mind. Oh, yeah. So the amount of times you'll end up in the wrong... You know, you'll end up going and trying to search a zombie instead of trying to kick him back to the underworld. But because you've left it on the wrong setting. Oh, forgot about him. See, oh, back in a fight. Always forget about that one. Oh, yeah, no, it's supposed to catch you out like that. See, is that because we're not lined up, or is that... Oh, come on, start punching. See, now we're kind of in the stun locked here. Let's see if we can't run. No, I think we're basically stuffed. Come on, do a kick or something, a punch. Well, this is going to be a very short one. We're now dead, and there's not a lot we can do. Oh, hang on, no, when you hit him. Right, we might still get away with this. Not likely. Oh, how are you missing him? He's right there. Ooh. I should have put a save in, shouldn't I, before I got there? Well, we'll watch. So, yes. I mean, it's trying to do a lot for it. It's 1992. It's trying to do a lot. This is completely untrodden ground. A full 3D survival horror adventure. Lots of puzzles, voice acting and lore. But yeah, it's definitely a product of its time. There's also a bit of an oddity with buying it as well. Now, I'm sure there's other places to buy it from, but I checked on GOG.com, and this is the GOG version I'm playing. I will, of course, skip all the... I'll let you hear a little bit of Edward's voice acting, in fact, then.
On my door, a dull brass plate says, Private Detective. The few friends I have call me Carnby. The others call me the Reptile.
So I'll get through the rest of this.
My
Again, not quite so clue heavy. We'll skip that, so we're starting in the attic. Oh, get off that stupid chair. This time round we'll deal with it. We won't bother with the combat too much. Yeah, so we were saying about push, which is what we want for this next bit. I looked at GOG.com and Steam, of course. This is the GOG version. Now, if you buy on Steam, you can only buy a pack. It's £10. Well, actually, it's £11 basically. And it comes with the Alone in the Dark 1, 2 and 3, the original releases. And then, come on, line up. And then it also, the Alone in the Dark 2013. The rather forgettable game, which wasn't very well received by most people. Well, if you... Oh, I didn't mean to do that because I'm in the wrong... That's alright, it should still be over it. I meant to put it in a search. If you buy on GOG.com, you don't buy a pack as such, but you can buy the series. So that's still 1, 2 and 3. So there's the little bird monster thing again. Just make sure it's definitely over there. But yeah, you can buy this series for £8, which gives you 1, 2 and 3. But also the far superior 2001's release, A New Nightmare. So it's kind of up to you what you want to get, really. I mean, if you only just wanted the actual original 1, 2 and 3, then it's only a £5 off of... It's only a £5 on GOG.com. I mean, we will get around... Slightly glitchy there. I will get round to having A New Nightmare on this channel eventually, of course. That's also quite a classic past blast now. I won't bother with the letter, there's no real point to it. I will get to the oil lamp. So yeah, it's a bit of an oddity. It's kind of up to you where you want to buy it from, but my own personal recommendation would be the GOG version. And get the series, so you get all 1, 2 and 3, although admittedly Alone in the Dark 2 is pretty bad in many ways. Maybe get around to doing that on this channel as well at some point. And oh, and it also includes the little Jack in the Dark, which is it was a little kind of mini adventure. It was released as a teaser game. Now you get that whether you buy it on GOG.com or Steam. So it's a little extra. It's more the same kind of thing here. Come on, that's it, buddy boy. Find that. So yeah, this is a tough one to call, really. As I say, I like it. It's the original survival horror. But how would the modern gamer take it? That's a good question. There's no two ways about it. It can be, with the controls and this system, it can be quite frustrating in places, as you saw with the combat. In places be forgiven, especially trying to get it to run. The control F11 using the DOSBox cycles does help make it a little bit better. Makes it a bit more reliable, but still occasionally you will get stuck. Come on, Eddie baby, this way. Yeah, I can see this is one of those tough past blasts. This is a really tough past blast to call. It really is. It is a good game. It's setting the standard for quite a... Interesting, the door didn't shut that time. Oh, it did now. I was just wondering if that's related to why sometimes I don't see that zombie outside and sometimes do. So it's certainly very important from a gaming point of view. And, you know, there's a lot of game here. fact, you've got melee combat, melees with weapon combat, firearms, all the voice acting. As enthusiastic as it is. The chest key, I should have really got rid of that. We'll get rid of that later. So I actually want to be on actions and fight. Let's see our chums here. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that must be something to do with why he sometimes appears and sometimes doesn't. Let's try and get him back on the corner here. Right, space. There's some stance he's got going on there. Right, excellent. So we managed to get him caught. So yeah, it's trying to do a lot. But it definitely shows its ages in a lot of ways. We'll probably get around to concluding our dealings shortly anyway. Come on, that's it. Come on. Might have been a bit better if I just smoothed this. Maybe they hadn't made it take quite so many hits for your bog standard average zombie. Ah, good. The way he runs was sort of backwards now. Let's get this time round. I should remember to get myself into... I should get myself onto close. Oh, come on, Eddie. There we go. Right, we also want to get ourselves onto something else. Let's equip that. Let's get over here. It would be nice if they could have made that a little bit more reliable, this sprint. So where are you? You want to be pointing this way, dude. So yes, it's... why are you not firing? Buddy boy. I have no... Did I put... Right, we're going to die again. I do not know why he wouldn't fire then. He should automatically be in combat with that. Well, we're dead. We are dead again. Why would you not fire? There's no point using that. Right, we've only got 9 health left. Come on, punch, do something. He's not doing anything. I have no idea why at this moment in time. He's not even... Fight. He's not even getting into the stance, so I bugged out for some reason. In fairness, I've never come across this one before. Wow. This isn't doing this game any favours at the moment, am I? But that's not the point of this channel anyway. That's not the point of why I make content. It's not to make some games look better than others, or it's to... You've got to kind of call it as you see it. But yeah, combat is definitely one area this game is very weak in. Yes, thank you. We know we're dead. Get on. Right, one brave new world. I'm just going to skip for all this. Yep. I'm going to try and show you... I'm just going to quickly grab the gun out of that closet and try and show you fighting the... Out of the closet, out of this... Out of this chest. I think we should automatically be on search. Oh, are we not? What are we on? Open search. Or are we just not lined up with it? Right, let's take you. Go to push. Right. Oh, yeah. Just push it. Yeah, how a new gamer would find this. Let's try and find somewhere where we're going to get a good angle to fire on it from. It's probably here, looks about right. Right, rifle, use. So it's left and right to angle yourself, and then up or down to fire. Come on, hurry up and break in. That. Yeah, now's not a good time for it. Is that in brown bread? And that's the firearm combat anyway. So I've only got I've only got one shot left, haven't I? So I would now be screwed when I get to that next room with the other bird creature in, because I no longer have enough rounds to kill it. So yes, we'll conclude our dealings here, gang. Alone in the Dark. From a personal point of view, it is a good game. I like it. From a historical point of view, it's a very important milestone in video gaming history. But it definitely is a product of its time. It definitely could. I can understand that a lot of modern gamers would find this an incredibly frustrating experience in a lot of places. Mainly the controls and the odd gimpy moments like that, when for some reason the gun just was not firing. And I had the spacebar down. I held the button down, and it just did nothing, and got me killed. But in fairness, that's the first time I've had that happen. And then, of course, is if you do decide to buy it, where do you buy it from? GOG or Steam, depending on, you know, if you want to save a bit of money, then GOG, because you can get it for a £5. For £8, you can get it with Alone in the Dark: A New Nightmare. But with Steam, you just buy the whole pack, which is the free games and Alone in the Dark 2013. So there's that. There's options, which is always nice. We always like options. I'm talking of options. Escape is your options. That's them. You've got 2 detail levels, low and high. Nothing else other than the Control F1 for the actual key mapper in DOSBox. So anyway, gang, hopefully this is made it. As I say, I usually like to try and give a definitive answer on something here, but it's a tough one to call. I personally like it, but I could understand why, if you're completely new to this series, or if you're looking for some old classics, I can understand why a lot of people would find this frustrating. You know, I do try to figure that into these games. When I do these Past Blast ones, I do try to figure in how much is nostalgia goggles affecting my view of this. I tried to balance that in and trying to sort of think, if I was completely brand new to this, maybe I've just got into video gaming, PC gaming, whatever, consoles recently, you know, is the game on the gameplay on itself enough to make up for things like controls and graphics, sometimes difficulty levels. I mean, as you saw there, if you don't pay attention during the introductions, that will come busting in the window and pretty much kill you quickly, especially if you haven't read the manual to tell you how to equip your firearm and use it. So there are things like that to factor. I do my best to try and factor in and try and be. I hate to be one of these old school gamers. You see plenty of them on YouTube. I'm sure you know who they are. They're all, I'm my old Dave, and we're brilliant lad. You're all pussy gamers today. You don't know your snowflake born. And I try not to be that way. There have definitely been advancements in the gaming industry. There's no two ways about it. There's also been some back steps taken as well. There's no two ways about that. And I try to be balanced, or as balanced as I can be. I'm only human. We have our likes and dislikes, I'm sure. I do try to factor these things in when doing content for this channel and trying to share my views with others. But yeah, this one is one of those tough ones to call. I like it, but I could see if you're new to these kind of games, this could be a bit of a harsh introduction, but there's a lot of game there. If you're wanting to, you know, it does at least test you for paying attention to clues and what you're told in the books and things. So anyway, so I'm going to leave this one as more of an ambivalent, not quite such an emphatic yes as normal, despite the fact it is a good game. So anyway, gang, thanks for taking time to watch the video. I hope you found it useful and entertaining in some way. And oh my lord, I've just looked at the timer on the top of my recording. I didn't mean it to go on this long. Yes, thanks for taking time to watch the video. I hope you found it useful and entertaining in some way. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. And I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.